Hi, BOBI 23. Over to Black Sluice Lock Cottages where Simon interviews LA85.
Well, here we are in the girls' toilets of BOBI, and I'm interviewing some of LA85. How you doing, guys?
Good.
Now, I'm intrigued. LA85, tell us how you come up with that.
So when we first got together, we were very much about that kind of classic rock sound. So we feel it kind of came from LA. And 1985 was the Sunset Strip when when that kind of genre really started to take off. So that's where we come up with it.
Well, it's quite a alluring kind of name, really, which kind of sets the scene, I guess, doesn't it? I mean, because that's pretty much what you guys are trying to knock out, is the classic rock kind of vibe with a modern twist. I mean, tell us about your music.
You know what? It's developed quite a lot, hasn't it? Because we've all come from different probably backgrounds of playing. So me and Ben, our drummer, we've played together for years. We had really heavy metal, kind of period, and then we went to like a pop punk era. And then a few years back we started just kind of churning out some like more rock tracks, but then since Pat and Jordan have come, we've kind of changed that sound a bit and started adding synth in there, and then more recently I think we've gone not maybe new metal, but there's a lot of different influences there, isn't there, that it's just developed, which you do as a band over time. You just kind of find out what your strengths are, and then that kind of goes from there, doesn't it?
I think me and Pat were a bit more like grunginess, really, that kind of that more 90s maybe vibe. And
so you put it in the melting pot. I mean, it's quite unusual to see a band, one person with a Metallica t-shirt, one with a Foreigner t-shirt. And what's Pat got on? Have you got anything underneath? This is a children's program. Okay, AC/DC, right? Wow. Well, would you say those are big influences, or?
Yeah, I mean, I love the 1987 Whitesnake album. That kind of era. So a lot of the original stuff that was writing was very similar, kind of like chord progressions and things. So there's a bit of that, and then obviously, Pat, you've come from a background of something completely different.
Yeah, I was born in the 80s, but musically grew up in the 90s. So it's all about grunge bands for me, and that kind of more serious sound, and moody lyrics and that sort of stuff. So I have to be honest, when we first got together, I was a bit worried, because they were like, oh, we're going for this Motley Crue sound, and I'm thinking that's not me at all. But they've let me do what I do, I suppose, and it seems to work okay. So and then Jordan, you're into all sorts of stuff, aren't you?
Yeah.
As a bass player.
Yeah, definitely. Like all sorts. I'm a like 90s kind of punk, early 2000s metal. But obviously, like you grow up with music, and you just you start learning it all, don't you? Metallica, Guns N' Roses, that 80s, 90s. That was all what I listened to growing up, and this band, we kind of lean into all of that. So it's it's
fusion.
Fusion. Yeah, we try. I think sometimes we get a little bit carried away, and we have to like go like let's try and bring it back to what we're trying to do, because sometimes we go full metal and just let's dial that back a little bit and bring it back to something a bit more kind of 80s vibe.
It's interesting though. Do you feel you need to dial it back, or is that just a natural progression? Or are you the next technical death metal band, do you think?
I think we're definitely not, and I think Matt's a very talented guitarist. And I think we could maybe do more technical stuff, but we try and kind of focus on the song more, the lyrics. I think we all agree that the vocals need to be so front and center, which when we get carried away, we sometimes lose track of that because we haven't added the vocals yet. and then we go, okay, where are the vocals going to fit into this? And we kind of like have to make space for it, if you know what I mean.
But the new song, Simon,
yeah,
Echoes, that's probably the one that we...
I think it's probably our best song.
It is our best song, but it's also one of... We didn't wind it back too much, did we? Like, we kind of just went all out on that one, vocally, musically. I mean, drumming is just insane on that song, so...
I'm looking forward to it.
You'll hear it tonight.
Yeah, it's a debut time for it, isn't it?
Yeah.
First time being played out, isn't it? So,
yeah.
We've listened to it lots, but no one else does.
Yeah,
we think it's great.
Yeah, so I'm hearing rumours that you're going to be doing a lot of songwriting this year. Is that right?
Yeah, I would say so. You know, we last year we went through a spell of just trying to get out there a bit.
Yeah.
You know, we went far and wide to do all kinds of gigs all over the place, and I think that was just, we were all a bit rusty. You know, we'd not played live, you know, individually for a long time, so it was just getting that kind of confidence back.
Yeah,
a bit
absolutely.
As well. And then this year, I think we had like a big chunk of songs that we wrote, and then we've added a couple to the set list.
Yeah.
I think probably now after this gig, we were keen to, you know, do this gig this evening.
Yeah.
And I think from that we're going to have a decent stint of songwriting, and kind of whilst we've got this momentum from that song Echoes, I think we've kind of maybe found not necessarily a new style, but a style.
Polished,
It is more polished sound coming from it. So I think we're going to, you know, use that energy to, you know, keep writing a few more tracks, and hopefully then we've got a full collection and that we can kind of pick and choose from depending on where we go and where we play.
I think we've got better and better at songwriting as well. So like we started off, you know, some of our first tracks like Monster, Video Game, like those tracks are kind of like what we started off with. You know, they're good songs and we're proud of them, but then we moved on to like Faces and No Way Home.
Yeah.
And I think we all felt we kind of stepped it up a bit there. And then this latest one, Echoes, it's like, I think we feel kind of like we're at that, you know, we found our rhythm, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
this is, you know, this is what we, you know, this is what we're good at, and this is what we, you know, this is what we want to do, and it's, I think that's really exciting to all of us, and that's why we're kind of also keen to be like, let's write a few more whilst we've got that, you know.
So there's a lot of wisdom going on in the band, really, isn't there? Like discipline, because I think until you played live, it doesn't transmute from the recording studio or the rehearsal room, does it, to live? Live, it just completely challenges you and forms you, doesn't it? And then it gives you more confidence for the next phase, sort of thing.
Yeah.
So is this new set? Are you got plans for like an album, or is it just for touring, or what's the plan?
So we've done EPs before, haven't we? We did our like what we call Maiden Voyage, which was like that collection of songs where partially before Pat and George joined the band, me and Ben had just written some instrumental songs and made space for vocals. But it was when we were like finding our feet again. So, you know, I think what we'll probably do is, yes, we will have some singles, but I think we probably will combine it into you know, another kind of album or EP collection, maybe 5 or 6 songs again. Yeah. Because that's what, you know, it shows your natural progression, doesn't it? You have, this is one era, this is the, you know, the new era, and so on and so forth. And
you can get your stuff all the normal streaming places?
Yeah, we're streaming everywhere, aren't we? So all the usual platforms, and we're on all the social media platforms as well. So.
And we can find you as LA85. You haven't got some.
There's a dash in the middle though, remember?
LA-85, okay. And in regards to the sort of next gig, that's sort of to be written, really, because you're doing this sort of songwriting thing.
We haven't got anything booked after this.
But you have been prolific up to now, haven't you?
Yeah.
What would you say your best gig's been?
The best
gig?
Southside, played with Divided by Design. I think that was.
Do you know, it might be strange, but I think we'll probably all choose a different one.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised for you. It probably was something like Southside, because you enjoy that venue and the stage, and I'm more into intimate stuff. So you know, for me, I really enjoyed the Birdcage. I thought it was great. Yeah. So yeah. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I mean, probably Southside. I think the bands we were playing with at Southside was kind of like almost like a little bit of an eye opener of like, this is the level we need to be at. If you know,
okay.
They we were playing with some, you know, really excellent musicians. It was like Heartstrung, which is like a young up and coming like metal band. You know, their stage presence was excellent. Playing with Divided by Design, you know, they've got a huge presence, and they've been quite successful as well. And you know, their kind of technical setup was almost a little bit similar to ours in the way that they manage their sound, but just like on a different level. And it was for me, it was good because it was not just enjoyable, but like I think we learned a lot from it. So it was like, you know,
it felt challenged, didn't we?
It was good. You know, we knew we had to step the game up. Really had to go.
Well, that's how you learn, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because like I say, it's a big difference between practice.
We also did this little, you know, we did a gig in Tilsley, which was parts of Manchester, I think, and that was awesome. From the venue itself, which was quite a nice place, wasn't it? It wasn't set up for a band like we are, but the owner loved it, and people had a good time, didn't they? And so, yeah, it's a mixture.
Cool. Well, I wish you well tonight, guys. I'm looking forward. I've not heard you yet. I've just met you loads of times, Pat, but and yeah, looking forward, and all the best with the songwriting. And,
Thank you.
Do you have a website, anything like that, or is it purely socials you use at the minute?
Just socials.
Yeah, so keep a beady eye on that, people, and you'll see when they emerge from the next practice sort of run and songwriting batch, where to find you.
Updates along the way as well, I'm sure.
Yeah. All the best with it, guys. Thank you.